Have you ever come across a message so genuine, so heartfelt, that it makes you stop whatever you're doing and just listen? It doesn't happen often, does it? Most of the time, we're bombarded with quick headlines, flashy posts, and noise that barely makes a dent in our busy lives. But every once in a while, someone says something that feels real. Something that feels like it's speaking directly to you. That's exactly what happened when Johnny Depp shared his Sunday message. It wasn't rehearsed or overly polished. It was raw, simple, and filled with a kind of positivity that feels rare these days. And the way it's resonated with millions of people? Well, that's something we need to talk about. Picture this, it's a Sunday morning. Maybe you're still in bed, scrolling through your phone like so many of us do. The usual chaos of news headlines, social media posts, and random notifications is filling up your screen. But then you stumble on a message from Johnny Depp, and suddenly, it feels different. His words aren't about the latest trends or celebrity gossip. They're about life. About slowing down. About gratitude. About kindness. And for just a moment, you feel lighter, like someone out there gets it. Why did this message go so viral? Maybe because deep down, we all crave this kind of reminder. We're so used to rushing through life that we forget to pause and appreciate the little things. Johnny's message is like that friend who sits you down and says, "Hey, take a breath. It's going to be okay." And honestly, how often do we hear that anymore? When you think of Sundays, what comes to mind? For some people, Sunday is a day to relax, to recharge before the week ahead. For others, it's filled with stress, with the looming thought of Monday and everything that needs to get done. We all get caught in that cycle, don't we? But Johnny's words remind us that Sunday doesn't have to be just another day. It can be a chance to reset, to let go of the heaviness of the week, and to start fresh with a clear, positive mindset. One of the first things Johnny talked about was gratitude. Now, I know we've all heard this before. Be grateful. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But when was the last time you really stopped to think about it? Not just saying, "Yeah, I'm thankful," but actually feeling it. Johnny said that even on the hardest days, there's always something to be grateful for. And it's true. Maybe it's your family, your friends, your pet who greets you like you're the best person in the world. Maybe it's something as tiny as your favorite coffee in the morning or that song you can't help but sing along to. Here's the thing, gratitude changes the way you see the world. When you shift your focus to what's good, even if it's small, everything feels a little brighter. Try this for a moment. Think of just one thing you're thankful for today. It doesn't have to be big. It could be as simple as the fact that you woke up and have another day to live. Isn't that something worth appreciating? Another part of Johnny's message that really stuck with people was about kindness. And not the big, grand kind of kindness that takes huge effort, but the small, everyday moments. He reminded everyone that just one kind word, one smile, one simple gesture, can completely turn someone's day around. And he's absolutely right. Think about the last time someone complimented you out of the blue, or even just gave you a smile when you were feeling down. It feels good, doesn't it? It's like an instant mood booster. We live in a world where negativity often gets more attention than positivity. But Johnny's words were a reminder that we don't have to wait for something big to make a difference. A kind text to a friend, holding the door open for someone, or even just saying, "Hey, I hope you're doing okay," can create a ripple effect. You never know what someone else is going through, and that little bit of kindness might be exactly what they needed. Now let's talk about something that really hit home for a lot of people, tuning out the noise. Think about it. How often do you check your phone? How many times a day do you scroll through social media without even realizing how much time has passed? We're constantly surrounded by information, news, updates, and opinions. It's exhausting sometimes, isn't it? Johnny reminded people to just unplug for a bit. To step back from all the noise and just be. When was the last time you did that? When was the last time you turned off your phone, sat outside, and just noticed the world around you? The sound of birds. The way the sunlight hits your window. Or even just the quiet of your own thoughts. It's such a simple thing, but it can make you feel so much more grounded. We forget how healing a few minutes of stillness can be. And then there's something Johnny said that really touched me, and I know it touched a lot of people, too. He talked about second chances. About starting over, no matter how many times life knocks you down. That's something we all need to hear. Because let's be real, life isn't always easy. We all mess up. We all go through tough times. But hearing someone say, "It's okay, you can start again," feels like lifting a weight off your shoulders. Johnny knows what it's like to face challenges, and that's exactly why his words hit so deeply. They aren't just pleasant phrases meant to sound good for a moment and then fade away. They carry the weight of someone who's lived through storms and come out the other side with scars that tell a story. There's something different about hearing a message from someone who has walked through fire and still talks about hope with such honesty. It's not the kind of positivity that feels forced or fake. It's not about pretending life is perfect or ignoring the pain. It's about acknowledging that pain exists but choosing to believe that better days are always possible. And that choice, coming from someone like Johnny, makes his words feel real. Think about it. When someone who's never struggled tells you to just stay positive, it can feel hollow, right? It's hard to believe advice from someone who's never had to fight for their own happiness. But when someone like Johnny Depp, who's faced personal battles, intense public scrutiny, and moments of being misunderstood, speaks about kindness and gratitude, it hits differently. You know those words have been tested. You know they come from a place of truth. Johnny has lived a life filled with highs and lows that most of us can't even imagine. There were times when his life was splashed across headlines, times when he was judged without people knowing the full story, and times when he had to dig deep just to keep going. And yet, here he is, talking about hope, about finding beauty in the small things, and about spreading kindness in a world that doesn't always return it. That's powerful. It's proof that no matter how dark life gets, you can still find a way to see light. There's also something incredibly comforting about knowing that someone as famous and successful as Johnny Depp has gone through struggles too. It reminds us that no one is immune to life's challenges, no matter how perfect things might look from the outside. And if someone like him can go through hard times and still choose to speak about hope, maybe we can, too. Maybe we can take a little piece of that resilience and carry it with us in our own lives. Isn't that inspiring? It makes you think, if he can find strength in the face of so much, what's stopping us from finding that strength too? So how can we take all of this and actually apply it to our own lives? It's one thing to listen and feel good for a moment, but how do you make it last? That's where I want to share a few simple things you can try, inspired by Johnny's message. First, create a Sunday ritual for yourself. It doesn't have to be complicated. Maybe it's brewing your favorite coffee and taking 10 minutes to enjoy it without any distractions. Or putting on a playlist that makes you happy. Or writing down one thing you want to let go of before the week starts. It's amazing how a small ritual can change the way you feel about the entire day. Another idea is something I like to call the 3-minute rule. Whenever you feel stressed or overwhelmed, just stop for 3 minutes. Close your eyes, take slow breaths, and think of something you're grateful for. It could be anything. A person, a moment, even something small like the way the sun feels on your face. Those 3 minutes can completely shift your mindset. And here's something else, pay attention to the people you surround yourself with. Johnny's message reminded us that energy is contagious. If you're always around negativity, it's hard to stay positive yourself. That doesn't mean cutting people out, but it does mean choosing where to put your energy. Spend more time with people who lift you up, who make you feel inspired, who remind you of the good things in life. Johnny himself is someone who draws inspiration from creativity, music, art, quiet moments. Maybe that's why his words feel so genuine. He's not trying to be perfect or pretend that life is easy. He's just sharing what he's learned, in the most honest way possible. And that's something we can all take to heart. So let me ask you this, what do you do to keep your Sundays positive? Do you have a routine that makes you feel good? Or maybe a simple habit, like going for a walk or calling someone you care about? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so share them in the comments. You never know, your idea might inspire someone else who really needs it. And if Johnny's message left you feeling as uplifted as it did for me, I think you'll love the next video I've got lined up. It's all about some of his most inspiring quotes and the powerful lessons behind them. Trust me, you'll leave feeling even more motivated and ready to take on the week. Before you go, if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. Not just because I'm asking, but because every time you support content like this, it helps us spread more positivity. And let's be honest, the world needs as much of that as it can get right now. Wouldn't you agree?